Welcome. This podcast is a series of candid conversations exploring the human experience from a completely new perspective. In it, we will be diving deeply into the meaning of commonly used words and pointing you away from that old stressful way of looking at life and towards a new paradigm. This will help you find a sense of calm, cultivate meaningful relationships, and create harmony in every aspect of your life. Here is Navigating Life with Ease with Michaela, Ellis and Clare, Downham.
Good afternoon, Clare.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I just had to do a rapid nose blow before the intro. But let's blow my nose now. Don't want to blow it down the mic in the middle of the podcast. That would be
good. Well, are you and your nose ready for a word today?
Yeah, my nose is going to stay out of it, I think. Might be
okay, good.
Yeah.
Get it to mind its own business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's explore abundance.
Ooh. I have so many cool stories about that recently. But almost like I think I'm seeing that everything's there and everything's available. It's just usually we're too much in our heads to even notice that those things are being supplied to us with ease. So one of my stories is my cup of tea story. So when I was in Spain, I don't know what the Spanish people do with tea. Sorry if there's any Spanish people listening, but your tea's dreadful. It's just awful. So when I went to Spain 6 days before Bruce, and I had thought need to take some Yorkshire tea with me, and I forgot. And then Bruce had a list of things to bring, and he forgot the Yorkshire tea also. So it was a bit of a disaster. And so on sort of a few days before we came home, I just said, I didn't want to come home. I could have stayed forever. I thought I'd be homesick by the end. I was not at all. And I said to Bruce, you know what? I'm not really wanting to go home from this beautiful place, but I do want a proper cup of tea. That's the one thing I'll really look forward to when I get home is having a proper cup of tea. So we go down to breakfast, and this lovely guy, Theo Tomlinson, who you might actually know, he turns up at the table with a box of Cornish tea because he's going home and he doesn't want to take it back with him. And he said, does anybody want this? And I went, well, clearly me, because I just asked for it upstairs. And I came down to breakfast and he gave us this. I mean, it's Cornish tea. So, it's not quite Yorkshire tea, but it was a nice cup of tea. And I was just, oh my goodness. It was there, the tea. I just had to unite with it. And if you can do that with tea, you're like, what else can you do that with? I mean, £1 million would be nice, obviously, but I'm really seeing as my mind gets quieter that things just, but I think there's something about appreciation that goes with that. Is just to go, oh, wow, look at that. I talked about tea. And I think if your mind's not quiet, you wouldn't even remember that you talked about tea upstairs and then manifested it when you got downstairs. You wouldn't even, you wouldn't connect to that. So notice it. So I have a little app now and I notice the synchronicities. So Bruce and I walk so that sometimes for our morning walk, we just pop to the supermarket and get a few bits that we need. So we walked to the supermarket this morning and on the way I was saying, Bruce said, oh, do you fancy kippers for breakfast? Yeah, I fancy kippers for breakfast. We get to the cheapy fridge. We call it the whoopsie fridge here, where the things that are just going out of date. And there was a packet of kippers reduced. And to me, it's like not... People often are looking for abundance, like it's a big vision board and all the things are on it. I'm going to get all the things, and I don't know. It's just seeing that it's happening all the time. Things are just popping in. I'm so close to seeing a kingfisher in real life. I've got this thing at the moment about seeing a kingfisher, and we went to the nature reserve last week. It only opens on a Wednesday during the week. And there were some bird watchers saying that they'd just seen a kingfisher. So I missed it by this much. And then Sophie said, oh, my dad took a picture of a kingfisher. And then today, when the nature reserves again today, and there was a lady saying, "Oh, I was at somewhere else. I've just seen. I saw a kingfisher the other day." I'm like, "Oh, it's a big kingfisher. It's like there. I'm just not quite. I'm just not quite connected to it. It's like it's flying around me, and I'm just like not quite seeing it." And it's noticing little, like all the little synchronicities. I think synchronicity is so key when you're thinking about when you're just noticing how abundant we actually already are. Everything's there. Everything's, I guess, within touching distance, really. Just a lot of the time we don't notice that those things, those synchronicities are happening, those things are dropping into place. I mean, there's just so much of everything, isn't there? Like even I just look out the lawn and I can see all the blades of grass. Like there's abundance of blades of grass. And at the nature reserve today, there was like so many birds and so much nature and there's so much of everything. So I guess that's my initial thoughts on it. Yeah, it can be a word that has a lot of thinking around it, I think. Maybe that's just who we are already, is abundance. So over to you.
Yeah, that was beautiful and that was great story. Yeah, the whole asking and receiving thing. And we can ask for all kinds of things, but if we're asking from a place of, not believing we're going to get it, it is all energetics. You can't get away from it because that's where we are. That's all there is. So in talking about vibration, but the whole idea about abundance, like this was interesting. This is what popped up in the moment when you shared your story. And it's like, oh my God, yeah, she knew what she wanted and she spoke it out loud, and then there it was, and it appeared. And maybe you weren't ready for it before. Maybe you really needed to, whatever the reason was. And then on the other hand, I see abundance as so subjective, because the Spanish people probably love their tea and think they're abundant in their varied flavors of tea, whatever they enjoy drinking. And they might think that the Yorkshire tea is, not up to snuff. So it's like, it's not it's so unique to each individual. And yet the feeling, I believe, from when I ask people about what abundance feels, because it always comes back to similar feelings of like an expansiveness, or like a wow, or a feeling of that they've like, how do I say, in receipt or in a receiving mode, which is open and trusting. And it's funny because the mind will say, well, I'll believe it when I see it, or I can feel like that when I get it, or, those kinds of things. But actually, yes, like you said, it's happening all the time. We are receiving things that have us, when we notice it, have us feeling abundant. And whatever that word is to you, like what does abundance feel like to you?
I guess peace is the word that comes to mind first of all. Like, and I know that that's the place where ease as well, like just feeling at ease. There's something about the desire and also being okay with not getting the desire. Like I knew I was going to get a cup of tea when I got home on whenever it was, Monday morning. I would have got my cup of tea, and this was about Thursday or Friday. So I kind of knew the cup of tea was coming because I definitely knew there was Yorkshire tea in the cupboard when I got home. But so there was this kind of, just ease off the cuffness about it. Oh, really nice. It's going to be really nice. Almost like this feeling of, a cup of tea is going to be really good. I think the Spanish drink coffee, by the way, just to clarify. I don't think they really drink tea. It's just, I think they get it in for the Brits. I think they mostly Spanish drink coffee. I think they don't really drink tea much. But anyway, there was almost like this, it's coming anyway. Yeah, almost like, do you know what it was? I think it was knowing that it was coming anyway. And so being like okay with it's there. I know it's there in the cupboard at home, so I'm going to definitely have a cup of tea on Monday. But then almost like the universe going, oh, you can have it now. Because the other thing that I manifested was a homeopath, like an actual person. Because I've been thinking I want to, because I've worked with this nutritionist and it hasn't really helped as much as I might have liked. And I just had this feeling to work with a homeopath. It's ages since I've worked with a homeopath. And so one morning in the hotel, I thought, you know what, I'll put a post in my community Facebook group now. When I get home, by the time I get home, there'll be a phone number and I can phone somebody up. And so I'd put this post in the Facebook group, and that was just intuition led. Oh yeah, let's do this now. I'm feeling this urge. Do that. Go downstairs. Bruce is off volunteering at Viva. And so I just found a lady who was sitting on her own, Sue Pilkington. I sit down at the table, we get chatting. She's a homeopath. Watson's little, he's a homeopath, and he's then got into the principles, and then he's trained he did a lot of homeopathic training. Lots of people trained with him for homeopathy and then trained with him when he came across principles. So he's just like principles facilitator training. But so she's done that, but she was a homeopath. So I'm working with her now. So again, it was that. So the feeling is it's already there. Like when I put the idea to put a post in the local community Facebook group, had a surety behind it that somebody would have worked with a homeopath and be able to give me a number. Like there was no doubt that would work. And it's almost like the universe went almost from the surety of the abundance of there are homeopaths. Somebody in Farsi will have worked with a homeopath. Somebody will suggest somebody. That then it was there already. She was there already. So not confidence, but yeah, just knowing it's there.
Yeah.
Like an inner knowing of. And almost without asking, like both those times, I didn't go, I want to go downstairs and somebody give me a box of tea. It was just knowing it was there somewhere and it was going to come to me at some point. I don't know. It's the times when you sort of say it, like this morning, fancy kippers for breakfast. We get to the supermarket and there's a packet of reduced kippers. Like, we'd have bought the full price kippers, but how cool that there were reduced price. Like, I don't know. It's almost like we're asking without asking almost. Yeah, it's just you're just having a normal conversation, or you're doing a normal thing that you would normally do, and then that thing just drops in. So you just feel okay. You just feel happy, at peace. Yeah, ease. You're just going through your normal life, and then it doesn't feel as heavy as that kind of it's deliberate creation type thing. It doesn't feel like that. It just feels very easy. Yeah, very much. I feel like that I've got I'm in Grace's mastermind and we've got a call after this, and I feel it's a question now I want to ask. But how do you take that manifesting of tea bags and homeopaths into perhaps bringing more, like, let's say, financial abundance in, or more clients, or that kind of thing? I can do it with the weather. Like I have a book of like the number of times, I've said this before, the number of times we go out for a walk, we get in the car and the heavens literally go like it's been dry all morning, and then as soon as we're in the dry, when we're back inside, the heavens will open and it'll just be like torrential rain, and we've missed it because we've had dry weather for our walk.
Yeah. So what I see it was beautiful that you said, it's like I'm asking without asking. And I think that is where the answer is, or the key is, because we forget that we're 99.999999% energy or formless. So we are asking with that part. That is the part that is asking. And there's a trusting, when I see that, because it didn't come from the mind. When we think that we haven't even asked for it, we think, I did not form a thought in my mind to say, I want tea at the table when I get down for breakfast. Or you didn't have the thought, right? We don't equate asking with something that happens energetically. I'm Reiki. I don't practice Reiki. I don't practice like a Reiki master, but I have all the training. Reiki master, I did teach other students and attune them. But that was one of the first things that I learned in getting into energetic work, how our auras or our energy, the formlessness of us, people meet that before they ever meet who we think we are. Clare, Michaela, in how we speak. So they're interacting with our energetic self. Others are, and so is the other energies of what we call the universe. So I think it's really key to know that. And this is why our language is important. When we catch that, and sometimes we don't catch what we're thinking until we say it out loud. And it's like our word is like a magic spell, kind of, because it's like before it ever came out of our mouth, it was in our energy field. It was in us. We were already saying it. We were already expressing it. And I think the wonderful thing about abundance is that when we're really sort of wanting to be honest, wanting to be true to ourselves, not to others, although that comes when you're more true to yourself. But when you're ready to like settle back and really allow, and we all do it at times, sometimes it's consciously, and often it's not, where you'll get a sense of yourself and there's a feeling to it. And in that, everything that we truly want and what we want, and if we say what we want equals the feeling of abundance, it's like it is true. And it's likely way simpler than what our mind makes it out to be. You mentioned about making £1 billion or something like that. And of course, all of that would be lovely. But it's like, what is the feeling? What is the going back to like, what is the experience of it? Part of abundance for me is fun. There's a feeling of fun and excitement around it because it's like play. It's like a game almost, that I can put something out there and it's like, I don't know what I'm going to get back or when, but something always comes back and I can go back to what I was asking for. And it's like, oh, I see. I need to be more specific about that because I was asking for something with my mind. And the energy of it, even in where we're living right now, in our previous home, Rob and I, we would go drive around looking for properties, and we would have a list. When we would look at things, we would create our list. We would fine tune our list. Oh yeah, we want to back onto Crown land, and we want to see them out. There was various things. We want, water. We want water on the property. And we had these things, but not exact. We had water in the properties right on either side of us. We had Crown land not backing onto, but across the road. In here, I didn't want anyone living behind us because we came from an acreage, and I was used to the space. So moving into town, well, I got that, but I'm backed onto an 80-kilometer zone highway that's not far enough to to quiet the noise of it. So it's kind of noisy. So it's like, oh wow, I got what I asked for. I got the things that I asked for, but
No, not specific enough.
yes. Well, why? Because I was looking at the thing as opposed to the feeling. Because what I really was looking for with not backing on is like quiet and peacefulness and spaciousness. So now I'm getting used to it, so I can get the peace, even though it can be interrupted by something especially loud going by. But this whole idea about the feeling of abundance, that's it. It's not of the mind. That abundance that comes from I want this, or I want that thing, it feels differently and maybe not as satisfying. Have you ever heard, you're we heard it. There were 7 of us kids. I was the youngest of 7. It's just like always wanting something, right? And it's just like not being satisfied. I think that's a natural part of us because we're creative beings. We're never going to settle. If we settle for exactly what we got, that means we're dead. That means we're no longer creating. And the only time we're not creating is if we are not engaging with life in any way. We're always creating, whether we think we are or not. We're always, sharing that. So this idea about abundance, yeah, I see that the experience of it, the feeling of it it's deeper than just what kind of stuff can I get here, or how can I attract that? Because I've done both. And there's a difference. It's interesting. Yeah. It's available all the time, every moment throughout our day. We can find those things, but if we're so focused on, but I don't have that yet, the absence of the things that we also want, that's when we get feeling like, no, I'm not living an abundant life. One more quick story. I might have shared this already, but Rob and I, when we go on long drives, like a couple of hours or whatever, we tend to, it's a time where we might dream together or wonder, or it's just like, what are you looking for? Sort of like an up leveling or a bringing us up to speed. Are you still looking for the things that you were looking for in your life to experience in your life? And we had gone for a drive out to Banff area, out to the mountains, and he had named some of these things off, and I said, wow, do you see that you already have all of these? And it was true. All of the things that were on his list, he was already experiencing it. So it's like, wow. So it was cool to really see it and to see how possible it is if someone is feeling that they don't have access to abundance. I would love to challenge them to see how they already have many of the things that they're desiring, they're wanting, that gives them that feeling of whatever abundance is for them, whether it's quiet or peace or fun or play or, an expansiveness or, yeah.
That's just a perspective shift, isn't it? for most
Certainly is, right?
people.
A miracle, that is, in the eyes of A Course in Miracle. Yeah. Well, and it's being present, right? It's being present to the moment so that you can actually see, you're actually present to the abundance that is there. And from there, it's like, what else?
Yeah, you've got to be in the world and not in your head, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you. Love your perspectives on all of that and your stories. Very good.
Yeah. Definitely noticing more of those, so that's got to be a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun. Thanks, Claire.
Yeah, thank you. See you next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, thank you for being a part of Navigating Life with Ease. We'd love to hear your feedback and receive a review on your favorite podcast platform. This will help others who'd also like more ease in their life to find us. We're here to support you, so if you've any words you'd like us to explore or you have a question, please reach out to us at navigatinglifewithease@gmail.com. Again, thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more episodes of Navigating Life with Ease.